Mike on stage.
Yeah. Are you alive?
Greetings. This is Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse from Access Wealth Nation, and this is a special show today. We are at the Kwanzaa Film Festival, and we're going to have some great discussions in a few moments. You know, I'm all about finance and about getting your checkup from the neck up, so we're setting all up. Be a little patient with us, but you know what it's all about is learning about how money works. And so we're going to have this wonderful opportunity to have this panel discussion. Just stay tuned. We're coming soon.
World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Jana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be linked to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is magic.
How can you be? Did you send me the link?
Can't hear them doing these. Try to hold this.
Can't hear anything.
Mm-hmm. I'm connected to the Wi-Fi on the computer. It's the Wi-Fi. Testing, guys. Testing 1 2. Please stand by. I got it on my phone. Yeah, it's on there. Let me go on. It's on the thing there.
I don't know what be back.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh, such a delay. Look, I did, it's like everything is like delayed. Is that really? Yeah, it's a virtual worlds.
Yeah, everything is just slight.
Yes.
So everyone in here can hear clearly. There's a microphone just for us, so everyone else can hear it clearly. When you use a microphone, you guys can pass the microphone that way.
This one?
Yeah, because this we don't have like I'll explain it.
Okay, so if we bring this mic,
So we're gonna use that handheld.
Yeah, just so everyone in here can hear you guys.
okay. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Wealth is blessed. Everything else is blessed. We here is blessed. Y'all hear me well?
Yes.
There we go. So Matt, am I opening again?
No, just go straight on. Just open real quick and then just got it.
Okay. There we go.
Wait,
I knew that was coming.
Wait, because he's like, we will have a.
like, what am I supposed to say when you pass it to me?
What are you supposed to say when he passes it?
Matt, what is he supposed to say?
Just open up your show and then back and start the show.
Yeah, but I don't
I know,
think-
but what am I supposed to say?
Oh, you gave me questions for real?
I gave him some questions that I wrote down. I guess he wants those questions. So he said that those questions that I
You got
wrote. And then we'll talk about them.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me just pull my.
But introduce yourself too. So they know who you are. And then you could,
Okay.
remember Dana's gonna come on at us on the point. Leave me out. We'll work it out.
It's gonna be fine. Are you gonna
Don't
count
tell
me
me
in?
you're shy, Douglas.
No, but I just like to know what I'm.
Yeah. You're one of those people that need to know when you get in the car, you want. Okay.
Okay, we're here at the Kwanzaa Film Festival, and I'm Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse, and today, of course, we have Ujama, which is our collective economics, which means by Black. And so, in knowing that, we're going to have our Access Wealth Nation show. We're opening up with the idea of collective economics. And I have a great panel here. Of course, we have our panel leader, who is Mr. Douglas Holloway. I got that right. Okay. And we have the sister who spearheads this entire festival, Ina Morris. Norris. I got a Norris. Please excuse me, forgive me. And so we're going to have honored with a guest of Mr. Damon Dash. And so this is going to be exciting. Be excited because this is a lot of information. So I'm going to hand it off to our moderator who's going to deal with some great questions for us to deal with in our community, dealing with the fact that we need to be financially free. So here's Mr. Douglas Holloway. Oh, you got your.
Hi, everybody. My name is Douglas Holloway, and I'm president of Homewood Media. And Homewood Media is a streaming company. We have 2 apps. One is called Urban TV, but it's spelled URBN-TV, and the other is UKW Media. Urban TV is targeted to adults, multicultural, multi-ethnic adults, and UKW Media is targeted to families and kids. So let's get started with our questions here. So tell me what you consider to be collective economics for the Black community.
Collective economics. Oh, let me get back to my. Right. But collective economics is truly building businesses within our own community, buying from ourselves, really returning ourselves back to the 127 Black Wall Streets that did exist.
and to build amongst ourselves so that the dollar does not leave our community in 40 minutes. It will stay just like in Black Wall Street, 3 to 5 years. So for me, it is, first of all and foremost, is to make sure that we build businesses that are sustainable, and then make sure that they're registered properly, that we know where we're going, what we're doing, and once we do it, we buy from ourselves.
Can you give me an example that everybody can relate to?
That they can relate to? Okay, the biggest one that I ever meet is all the time is the shea butter business. I mean, but we need to be structured better. But as far as really building our businesses, we have a lot of businesses in our community. When we had the PPP money that was put out by the government, it's just that many of us didn't know how money works, so we couldn't go and get the money. But examples are Sylvia's Restaurant, Melba's. Those are Black businesses where they own their own property and they're sustaining themselves from generation to generation. Because we have a Melba's because we had a Sylvia's. So that's an example.
And what is the power of Black collective economics?
Financial freedom. That's what it really is that we don't have to go somewhere else to ask somebody for what we need and what we want to do in our community. There are other communities here, especially in New York, that they operate on their own. The police can't even go in there. But in our communities, unfortunately, there's a lot going on and people are making decisions and we're not involved in it. So the positive part to it is truly financial freedom. But we first have to get financially educated. We can't keep going like this, blaming other people. We have to be in a position of where we know how money works and some of the basics, the 7 steps to financial freedom. They exist. You've got to have proper insurance. You have to have an emergency fund. You know, we go out, this is during the season. 'Tis the season to buy. And then 'tis the season to create credit, and debt. And we don't know how to get out of it. We don't understand some of the basic formulas. There's a rule of 72 that shows you how fast your money doubles. But there's also a rule of 72 that shows you how fast your debt is going to double. So you need to talk to financial advisors. And one of the things that I charge out there is financial advisors of color is that you need to deal in the community and talk to our folks. We're the ones who understand. I remember while I served on Wall Street, I'll never forget, one of the other brokers looked at me and said, I don't get it. Why in your community, you're talking about something about borrow from Peter to pay Paul. Who is Peter and Paul? Okay. I said, that's because you are not in our community. And therefore you don't understand. You just know at the dinner table, they talk about money. At our dinner table, well, we kind of talk about everything else. And mom and dad don't tell what the children should know, where the money is, how things are going. So we're miseducated. So we have to, that's my mission. That's been my mission, is to bring financial literacy into our community. I'm not trying to sell you something, I'm trying to educate you. You know, and in doing that, also, I'll just give a plug. I have a book that's out there. It's not my book, it's just an easy book to read. It's How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. Because we've been suckered. Okay, and why I say that is if you go to the bank and you look to the left of the teller and you look to the right of the teller, you're going to see something that looks like candy. They're usually lollipops. In addition to it, before we came out with this book, they were dum-dums. Were they telling us something? Yes. So we need to understand, you know, that putting our money in the bank by itself is not something that's lucrative. And then again, I'll put it out there because I have asked folks, show me a black bank, a real Black owned bank. We had one at one point called Freedom National. And they made sure, the state of New York made sure that it did not sustain it. It let it go down the tubes. Now we've got other Black face banks. But when you look at the board of directors, they don't look like us. So that's what we need. That's what this means about cooperative economics, is to have everything that we need amongst ourselves and be able to give microloans. What power that is, that if someone has a business and they want to move forward, that we can provide it for them. You know, one of my favorite, and I won't hold up the mic too long, but you know, I'm on a roll. But one of my favorite movies happens to be It's a Wonderful Life. And it's not because it's a bunch of black and white, you know, shows and stuff, but it tells the power of a savings and loan. And it tells the power of what we can do, what you can do when you loan out money to yourselves and then you get it back and you can provide the type of interest that is out there that we can do for our own community, where the dollar circulates. So I think that's the power, that this is what the future looks like.
Well, you know, a little known fact is that historically there have been a lot of black banks, black owned banks, and unfortunately through systemic racism, most of those banks have been eradicated.
Yeah.
There are still a few left, probably 10 or 15. But you know, the first black bank, which really turned blacks against banks, was the Freedom Bank, which was set up by the government and Congress, and it was run initially by an appointed government official who was white, and you know, over 100,000 slaves or ex-slaves, because this happened during Reconstruction, were actually invested their monies into that bank. That bank, whose board of directors at the time was all white, then invested those monies in speculative ventures. And those black people, those 100,000 black people, lost over $4 million in 1870 dollars. So you can only imagine the value of that today. And, you know, unfortunately, the history of that bank was that the government, to salvage it and to perpetuate the racism behind it, they appointed Frederick Douglass as president, who also put in $10,000 of his own money in 1870, which was a huge amount of money. And he lost all of his money, and he moved to shut down the bank to prevent, you know, systemic racism from further exploiting those blacks. And that's the unfortunate history, you know. And in my family, I've even discovered, you know, modern day folks with money under the mattress or in the proverbial mattress, but actually in the safe, but cash. So tell us what those 7 principles are, or 7 rules of financial freedom.
Well, the first one is the emergency fund. You know, savings money aside to in case of an emergency, instead of waiting till the emergency comes and then we use the credit card. So it's building, and sometimes we have to have a little fun with that in saving money. We can do. I tell folks, let's have fun. And so there's some things like saving $1 for every week in the year, which doesn't do a lot, but it's $1,378 that you didn't save before. And you keep doing that. There's also hoard your fives. Because if you know how we become magicians when we get a $20 bill, you know, it goes poof. So instead, if you end up with $5 in your wallet, you got to put it away, hoard your fives. So that's saving money for the emergency. Then you have the situation of your proper protection. If I see one more GoFundMe fish fry for someone who has passed in the family, I'm going to scream, holler, and then I'm going to go choke somebody. I don't know, make them but holler. But that's one of the things that we have to do, is have proper protection, but not just for death. We need to have it because there's living benefits to life insurance, how the rich use life insurance, how to put money away and then have the opportunity to take it out tax, as we say, advantage. Okay. And so that's the other. Then we have making sure that we provide for our retirement. Legacy building, another thing that we don't, we wind up having money, then we become the secret agents. We don't want to tell anybody. We think someone's going to take it away from us, so that's a no-no. And then we got debt. Now, I know no one here has that problem, debt. But if you did, you need to reduce the debt to the point of eliminating debt. But there's good debt and there's bad debt. We just have to be able to understand the differences between it. So these are the basic principles to be able to make a difference financially. And a lot of things we don't know. The other thing is we have to have our affairs in order. We don't, some people tell me, well, if I put my affairs in order, then somebody will know what I have, and then they're going to kill me. That's the story. I'm telling you, I've heard these things. But the reality is that we need the affairs in order. You need a will. Those of you who have children who are 18 years old, guess what? They're adults. You cannot even get their scores and their grades because they're adults. You paid for the college, but you don't get those grades. They have to fill out a form of to release the information to you. That gives them a little bit more power than they need. But that's the reality. Is that you need to have these documents, health proxies. All those things need to be put into place so that we don't have this confusion. And who's going to be able to speak for you? What happens is if you can't speak, you didn't die, but you just can't speak for yourself. Where's your financial power of attorney? Simple things like that. Many people in our community don't have these documents. And then when something happens, like we wind up maybe with Alzheimer's or something in that sense, what's going to happen? Who's going to take care of it?
So for people that don't know about these documents, how do they go about finding about them? How do they get these documents? And what's the stepwise process to put this into effect?
Into effect, they need to sit with a financial advisor and a good accountant. You need your team. Right. This is your team. Your team is a good attorney, a good financial advisor, and a good accountant.
Well, say I'm the typical Black person that only makes $50,000 a year. So, or maybe I'm at just above the poverty line.
That's right.
How do I put together a team of, because what you're talking about, a lawyer and financial advisor, that costs money.
It does. And then what I tell folks is also, number one, getting a good financial advisor. Most financial advisors, you don't have to pay them upfront. You can get advice from them. But I'm almost going to go back to I'm going to get you sucker element, which says here is that you remember when Chris Rock said, well, how much is for one spare rib? Okay, so how much is it for 15 minutes of your legal time? How much is it for half an hour? How much can I get? But realistically, and I put myself out there, is I have a team of young people I've been educating to become financial advisors. And so that's what I do. They sit with folks and we do it for $3.99, which means it's free.
Abaragani, Cooperative Economics, the day of Ujama. We have Dame Dash on the line, and I always call him Mr. Cooperative Economics because he's constantly talking about us building together. He's going out into the public schools, teaching principals how to do entrepreneurship, and he's always supporting the Kwanzaa Film Festival. So, hi, Dane. What's up, Abaragani?
What's happening?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can y'all hear me?
I don't think he hears us.
I can hear you.
Oh,
can
sure.
you hear me?
Surely we can hear you. Yes, he hears me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Surely we can hear you. Yes, he hears me.
I can hear you.
Surely we can hear you. Yes, he hears me. Surely.
Can you hear me now? I can't hear y'all now. I can hear you now.
Dane, what is the
I can hear you now.
Okay. What? Dane, what is
I can hear you now.
Okay.
Like loops. Nobody played twice. I can't hear you now. Maybe I need a headphones or something. Oh, I lost it.
Okay, try again. Go ahead.
Saying, what is the power of cooperative economics in your opinion? Saying, what is the power of cooperative economics in your opinion? Saying, what is the power of cooperative economics in your opinion? Power of cooperative economics in your opinion.
See these loops.
Power of cooperative economics in your opinion. Power of cooperative economics in your opinion.
Hang up on it. It's clear cut. I understand the question. Oh, look, they can see me. I can't see y'all. Can y'all hear me? I can't see anybody.
We can hear you. Can you hear us? We can hear you. Can you hear us? We can hear you.
Can't hear. You want to do it on the phone?
Keep talking.
Okay.
You want to do it on the phone?
Okay, he's listening.
Put the mic down. Put the mic down.
Okay, he's listening.
Okay.
Okay, talking here. Okay. We're gonna put the mic down. Okay. We're gonna put the mic down. Okay. The mic down. Okay. The mic down. Turn that off, maybe.
I can't. Are they talking to me?
Oh, they can hear me on this. On this.
But can he hear you?
Dane, can you hear me on this? Hello?
How are you talking to them?
Dane, can you hear me on this? Hello?
No. Matt, he's not hearing.
I know. Mike.
Tech. So we should just still keep talking about cooperative. So, about cooperative economics. I did have a question when he was talking about, how,
Oh, use the microphone for her to use the microphone. Use the microphone.
You're getting feedback.
It's behind you.
I'm afraid to talk because it kept playing.
Go ahead, keep going.
So cooperative, and when you were talking about cooperative economics, how early, when you were talking about cooperative economics, he should turn that on. Is that mic?
Can she just talk without the mic? Yeah.
Let's try.
But you will hear.
Will you hear? Okay, so we can still talk to the audience. How might, I'm just thinking about me as a child. My mother and father used to have business meetings. So when they would come to the table, my mother would have the ledger to write every bill down or what have you, but they never included us in this meeting they had. So how do you engage in cooperative economics? Because we want to cooperate with people outside of our family when sometimes we're not even cooperating economically with people who are in our household. And so when I think about
cooperative economics, I think about all the principles: unity, collective worker responsibility, defining what you want. So how do we like start to include our family, our children? When should we be teaching our children about financial independence and how to use money? Yeah, financial literacy.
Financial literacy, as soon as they can, as my mother used to say, as soon as they can count, they should be involved in the elements. And we've got to be careful about what we do in front of our children. I had a situation where I had a client come in and we did the financial strategy and we finished. She went to the restroom. She left her 8-year-old son with me. And so I said, "So, what you think about what we just did?" He said, "I don't get it." I said, "What do you mean you don't get it?" He said, "Well, why do all of this? When I get 18, I'm going to get the money card." So I'm like, "What's the money card?" And so when she came back in, I said, "You're talking about some kind of money card." It's the ATM card. And what do we do in front of our children? When we pass by the bank, we say, "Wait a minute, I got to go get some money."
Right.
That's all they see. They don't have the connection, of the fact that mom works, the check goes in, and even for
Absolutely.
ourselves, we don't have. I heard you speaking to the group before, is about our relationship with money. We don't have a relationship with money. You know how I know we don't? I walk around in here now and say, "How many of y'all got Federal Reserve notes? How y'all got cash?" Mostly everybody's got a card.
Mm-hmm.
We don't deal with the money. One of the things that I said maybe, and I'm in the midst of a little book writing about it, is that we need a relationship with our money. So one day you need to go get your check, put it on the bed because most stuff gets done in the bedroom, and go lay around in that money a little bit.
Right.
Get a relationship. Maybe we wouldn't give it away so fast because we do. We don't see. We don't see
Hello.
the power.
Hello. Dane, can you hear me? Okay.
Are we okay? Oh yeah, we will. We're live. But that's what I think is that we engage, get the children. I remember coming up and we had little banks. We could put in 25 cents. And so, matter of fact, I still have my first bank account.
Yes.
And so, the thing is that a lot of the banks don't have that for children. So why not do it at home for ourselves? Create a little bank book. So why not do it at home for ourselves? Create a little bank book. So, creating things that they understand how much it costs to, when you're sitting down, what's wrong with doing a budget in front of them? Letting them know how much things cost. We like trying to be secret agents with our kids, and then when they get grown, they don't know what to do. They don't know what a roll of toilet tissue costs. So get them involved, but also, this is where cooperative economics does come in very strong. Think about the fact that if you own your own business, okay, and instead of, I'm not talking and downplaying the city and state and federal jobs, but you can't hire your kids in the summer for those jobs, can you? But you could if you owned your own business. And guess what? The little bit that they get involved with it, you can give instead their allowances could now become a Roth IRA for them. There's their retirement money start to build. And guess what? It's a tax deduction for you. That's the business.
Wow.
That's it.
So I'm told we now can pull Damon Dash of Damon Dash Studios into the conversation. So Damon, I was asking you the question, how important is cooperative economics in your opinion? Cooperative economics in your opinion?
It's
Cooperative economics in your opinion?
same thing.
Cooperative economics in your opinion? We're gonna let him talk without me asking a question. That's what it is.
Can y'all hear what I'm saying? Can y'all hear me? I don't think it's working. I can't hear y'all now.
Tell them yes. Tell them yes. Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, y'all can hear me? Okay, cool. I'm not quite sure the meaning or the definition of what that is, or what y'all, what I've never really kind of used that term, but I know that for me, I was listening to the conversation here and there. I don't really understand the question, but for me, y'all still there? Y'all still there? Oh, okay. For me, okay, you can hear me. For me, I've always had issues with raising money a traditional way. And the best way for me is when I get with a bunch of people that are trying to do what I'm doing and we just all cop together. And that's been the way I've been able to get things cheaper. If you can find a community and everybody in the community are sort of doing similar things, then when you go to buy something, the more you buy of it, the cheaper it usually is. So, I guess if that's what a collective economy is, that's the way I approach it. I'm an independent, and all I've ever known about is a flip. But what I'm having a problem with is definitely teaching my children that hunger, understanding that we're a family, that we're a family business. And if I don't have a great year, then you might not have the best presents. But if you see you don't have the best presents, then it might mean come and get down and help out with the family business. So, at a certain age, I start to teach my kids, I start having them phone shadow me. I was hearing what the young lady was saying about doing budgets in front of them. I do all of that. They hate it, but I do know that it's starting to resonate in their heart, but I'm still not there yet. I don't know if I answered that question of collective economics, but that was my answer. Did you guys watch the movie? I can't hear.
Keep talking.
So we're gonna just keep talking. So, okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
But just,
Damon, you can't hear me, can you?
you can.
You can. So, we will be showing the movie tomorrow. We showed today the introduction of the movie. And tomorrow we have like a large group of people coming, so we're gonna show the movie tomorrow. And, I call you cooperative economics because you just explained it. Because first of all, it's about having a co-op of people with the same aim and the same intention, bringing their money together. But I also wanted you to talk about what you're doing with the principals. Can you share that with us in terms of teaching them entrepreneurship? And, we would love to hear more about that.
Well, I'm down with a crew called the OSG.
We would love to hear more about that.
You back?
Well, I'm down with a crew called the OSG.
Y'all can hear me? Okay, I'm down with a crew called the OSG. It's over 200 principals that are from economically challenged areas. And, my thing with the principals were I didn't love the curriculum that was taught to me when I was growing up because it never taught me how to have money, how to pay taxes, how to be a boss, how to farm, how to put things in trust. Nothing that I've needed. I'm watching my kids in school now. I'm paying a high price for the education, and a lot of the things they focus on. I understand how it might be a muscle and a practice for your brain, but I'm like, I'm sorry, I haven't used physics, I haven't used algebra, I haven't used Latin, I haven't used any of those things in my day-to-day business. And what I've learned about children just through the OSG is that a child can only retain 45 minutes of an 8-hour day anyway. So a class doesn't need to be an hour long for a child, maybe 15 minutes. but I can get into that another time. So what I'm doing is I was saying, look, I'm not going to complain about curriculum. I'm going to teach the principles about entrepreneurship so they could teach that to the kids. But in order to teach somebody something, you got to actually do it. And I know that my biggest influence when I was younger was whoever had the most money, whoever was the flyest, and I just feel like these principals, they're making more money than most people. They can be flyer, but I do need them to be entrepreneurs so then I can highlight them as the plug, and the students will listen to them and also respect them because they might be doing something that a child might want to do as an adult. And also what I've noticed is the number one thing you get taught when you go to school is not to dream. They tell you what to think and they put you on a life schedule. You're going to go to college at this time, you're going to graduate, you're going to get credit, and then you're going to retire. You're on a schedule. So all you can do is focus on surviving and fitting into a schedule that's not for you. And it just stops you from imagining exactly what you want your life to look like. They're not teaching us how to architect our future and how powerful our minds are. And the reason to me is intentional. So again, in order for a principal to teach dreaming, a principal has to dream. In order for a principal to teach his teacher to teach entrepreneurship, they need to be entrepreneurs. And these principals are fighting when no one's looking. And to me, these are our real celebrities, the ones that aren't doing it for fame, but doing it for love. And I also want people to understand that money is overrated. You need it, but it's man-made. Anything man-made could never be better than something God made. God made love, man made money. So what I've learned through my experience is what I value the most is my time and the time that I spend with the people I love. So my thing is being able to architect my life because I'm independent and value my wealth based on how happy my family is and how much time I spend with them. And I'm only a G if I know how to architect making money and not having to sacrifice the time with my children, because children don't know about money until they're told. They don't worry about money. What they're worried about is being loved and the time they spent with their child. And who's going to teach your child better than the person that made the child? Who's going to love your child more than you? So I also feel like at this moment, the parents have to learn how to also work with the kids and teach the kids as well, because you're the one that cares about the education. So what we did with the help of the OSG for our child is we made a curriculum. We've made Applefish Kids. You could go to it. It's our version of Sesame Street. You watch it, it'll teach you. And we've also made our own books. And it's been all curated by the OSG. And when we do read-alongs in classes, the kids' cognitive skills go up 30%, 100% of them during a pandemic. So, that's what I've been doing. We're all aware of the problem. It's about how do we fix the problem. And all we have to do is stick together, listen to those that are doing what we want to do and emulate it. And if people are willing to teach, then people got to be willing to listen. They got to know how to dream, and they got to be fearless. So I'm also teaching these principals not to be scared, because a lot of them are always scared of the Board of Education because they don't want to get fired. So they also live in fear, which also teaches fear. You can't teach courage unless you're courageous, So you got to be that. Be the person that you want the people you love to be. So I just try to lead by example. That was it. Y'all can still hear me? I can't hear that, but I see it. I can't hear. I can't hear nothing. So.
you know, and let's make things good for ourselves. If you want a business, set your business up right, but you need some help. So there's some of us out here, I'm here, you know, and I have associates that will help to make sure you're structured properly and to make sure that you're making a profitable business, not showing that it's just a loss.
I didn't understand the link because there was static. Could you repeat that, please?
Oh, my email
Yes.
is a nudge, and I'll give you a card, you here. But it's a nudge enterprises at gmail.com.
Well, I just want to say on behalf of Kwanzaa Film Festival, we thank Douglas Holloway.
Yes.
We thank Dr. Jana Woodhouse. We thank Dame Dash for being here because we are trying to bring the creative community together collectively. A lot of times we struggle alone and independently. We want to learn how to look at film and entertainment as a business, and the first start is to bring people together. So although it's a festival, but it's really a manifestival. So we're trying to bring people together. Thank you all for coming. I think we have to go at 7 o'clock, right? Is it 7? 7 on the dot. Bye, Dave. We got to go. Thank you. It was the best we could do. There's a lot of
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be lethal to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is now.
We're going to get out of your way right away.